Have you ever felt like you are not good enough, or that someone else is better than you in every way? If so, you are not alone. Many people struggle with comparing themselves to others and feeling unhappy as a result. But did you know that this habit of comparison is one of the biggest mistakes you can make in life, according to Buddha? In this video, I will share with you a motivational story that illustrates how Buddha taught his followers to avoid this mistake, and what are the other 4 mistakes that you should also avoid. The story goes like this. One day, a group of monks came to Buddha and asked him for his advice. They said that they were feeling depressed and dissatisfied with themselves because they always compared themselves to other monks who seemed to be more enlightened, more virtuous, or more skilled than them. They wanted to know how they could overcome this feeling of inferiority and jealousy. Buddha listened to their problem and smiled. He said, "My dear monks, you are making a big mistake by comparing yourselves to others. Comparison is the root of all misery. It makes you lose sight of your own true nature, and it prevents you from appreciating the gifts and talents that you have. You should not compare yourselves to anyone, because everyone is unique and incomparable. There is no one better or worse than you, only different." He then asked them to follow him to a nearby forest. There, he pointed out various trees and plants and asked them to observe their differences. He said, Look at this mango tree. It is tall and strong, and it bears sweet and juicy fruits. But does it compare itself to the bamboo, which is flexible and graceful and can be used for many purposes? Or does it compare itself to the rose, which is beautiful and fragrant and can delight the senses? No, it does not. It simply grows and flourishes according to its own nature, and it is happy and content. Similarly, look at this bamboo. It does not compare itself to the mango, or the rose, or any other plant. It just does what it does best, and it is happy and content. And so on for every plant and tree in this forest. They are all different, but they are all equally valuable and wonderful. They do not waste their time and energy in comparison, but they focus on their own growth and development. Buddha then turned to the monks and said, You are like these plants and trees. You are all different, but you are all equally valuable and wonderful. You have your own strengths and weaknesses, your own virtues and vices, your own abilities and limitations. You should not compare yourselves to others, but you should focus on your own growth and development. You should cultivate your own qualities and use them for the benefit of yourself and others. You should be grateful for what you have and not envy what others have. You should be happy and content with who you are and not wish to be someone else. This is the way to avoid the mistake of comparison and to achieve peace and happiness in life. Buddha then told them that there are 4 other mistakes that they should also avoid if they want to be truly happy and free. These are the mistake of attachment. This is the mistake of clinging to things that are impermanent and unreliable, such as material possessions, fame, power, or pleasure. These things can never satisfy you, and they can cause you a lot of suffering when you lose them or when they change. You should not be attached to anything, but you should be detached and flexible. You should enjoy what you have, but you should not depend on it for your happiness. You should be ready to let go of anything when the time comes. This is the way to avoid the mistake of attachment and to achieve freedom and happiness in life. The mistake of aversion. This is the mistake of rejecting or avoiding things that are unpleasant or difficult, such as pain, loss, failure, or criticism. These things are inevitable and unavoidable, and they can teach you a lot of valuable lessons. You should not be averse to anything, but you should be open and accepting. You should face what you have to face, but you should not be overwhelmed by it. You should learn from what you experience, but you should not dwell on it. This is the way to avoid the mistake of aversion and to achieve courage and happiness in life. The mistake of ignorance. This is the mistake of not knowing or understanding the true nature of yourself and reality, such as the law of karma, the cycle of rebirth, or the 4 noble truths. These are the fundamental truths that explain why you suffer and how you can end your suffering. You should not be ignorant of anything, but you should be wise and aware. You should seek and learn the truth, but you should not be arrogant or dogmatic. You should apply and practice the truth, but you should not be rigid or fanatic. This is the way to avoid the mistake of ignorance and to achieve wisdom and happiness in life. The mistake of ego. This is the mistake of thinking that you are a separate and independent entity apart from the rest of existence. This is the root of all delusion and suffering because it makes you feel lonely, isolated, and insecure. It also makes you selfish, greedy, and violent because it makes you think that you have to compete and fight with others for your survival and happiness. You should not have an ego, but you should have a sense of selflessness and compassion. You should realize that you are not a separate self, but you are a part of the whole. You should not live for yourself, but you should live for the benefit of all. This is the way to avoid the mistake of ego and to achieve love and happiness in life. Buddha concluded his teaching by saying, "These are the 4 mistakes that you should avoid if you want to be happy and free. They are the 4 poisons that pollute your mind and heart, and they are the 4 obstacles that prevent you from attaining enlightenment. If you can overcome these 4 mistakes, you will be able to see things as they really are, and you will be able to live in harmony with yourself and others. You will be able to experience the true joy and peace that comes from within, and you will be able to share it with the world. This is the ultimate goal of life, and this is the essence of my teaching." With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.